Among the big, grassy fields of the Presidio of San Francisco exists a forgotten monument of a forgotten time. It's small, tiny compared to the parks nearby. The monument is the Korean War Memorial. The memorial consists of a singular black stone mural of photos and maps. There's also a tree with little plaques that serve as timestamps of various important moments of the war. Today, 4 years after its grand opening on August 1st, 2016, the Korean War Memorial is mostly empty, at rest, almost in peace. However, its walls tell a story of violence, conflict, and pain. A story so real and so harsh, yet a story so mild and forgotten in the eyes of the American. It is a story unknown by so many, despite its astounding impact on Korea to this day. It is a story on the verge of disappearing. It all started on June 25th, 1950, when North Korean forces invaded the South in order to unite the two under one nation. Since the North was backed by communist ideals, the U.S., in fear of a communist takeover, came to South Korea's aid with hundreds of thousands of soldiers. Soon enough, Korea became the battleground of a broader global conflict. Ultimately, 5 million people were killed, wounded, or missing, and the hopes of uniting Korea as one nation lay in ruins. And yet, in the United States, it is coined as the Forgotten War. Why? Perhaps people weren't ready to face another war just 5 years after World War II. Perhaps the war in Korea seemed too mundane to mean anything significant for the American people. However, the war had a devastating effect on the two Koreas. They both went through an economic crisis after the war, and they both suffered extremely heavy casualties and property damage that would take decades to recover from. The South eventually recovered and enjoyed enormous economic prosperity, and is one of the most important nations in the development of new technologies. However, the North remains secluded from the international community to this day. The people of North Korea must live under a totalitarian dictatorship for the rest of their lives, and so must their children and the children of those children. Still, most aspects of life in North Korea are hidden from the public eye. As Korean Americans, we must understand the impact of the war as well as the pain and suffering our people endured, because to educate ourselves about Korea's history is to preserve our culture. As a first-generation Korean American myself, my identity as a Korean person is a fundamental part of who I am. I don't want to just let go of that part of me, and I can only hope that future generations would continue to learn about the history of Korea. Places like this memorial in the Presidio serve as small yet powerful reminders of our past, so if we are just willing to take a look, our history will never be forgotten, no matter where we are.